You celebrate your life. Celebrate the good and the bad, the happy, the sad, the joy and the pain, the sun and the rain. Celebrate life. Celebrate your life with love.
Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Spiritual Remedy. My name is Sunshine Daye, and what a joy it is to greet you on this Monday morning here in Southern California. Welcome, 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 wherever it is that you are in your part of the world or the country. I want to say hi. That's my little baby dog trying to get comfortable, making a lot of noise. Good morning, Chinsia. It's so good to have you with us this morning. Mellow Day. She is just wanting to make noise. The joys of life, right? Sometimes when I'm on a mission to do something and something interrupts, how do I deal with that interruption? Well, you got an opportunity to see it live, And so here we are. Here we are. Top of the day to you, Chinsia. So glad that you're tuning in today. You know, a spiritual remedy is geared for people who are in recovery. However, you don't have to be in recovery to benefit from the conversation and the discussion that we have here. As a matter of fact, it's really a broad blanket that I'm casting here, a broad net that I'm casting here, because if you are distracted from living your best life by drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, shopping, overeating, gossiping, stress, drama, you're in the right place. Because really, for me, what addiction is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's an addiction, but it also, like alcohol addiction, also has some physical and mental. And we're gonna talk about that. There you are, Bertha. It's so good to have you back. I've missed you tremendously. So glad you're here with us today. And also Jan. Hey, Jan. Welcome to Monday, right? You know, so what I'm talking about is that we get so distracted. I know that's the same for me, that I get so distracted from living my best life or from accomplishing something that I want to accomplish. And in the process of that, it becomes the habitual way. And a mental twist or a mental pattern begins to form, and that's the only way to do it. Like if I have peanut butter, I have to have jelly, or whatever the addiction is for you, whether it's an addiction, whether it's a weapon of mass distraction, whether it's distracting you from living your best life. There are spiritual tools that are at hand that you can use for your good. And there is a power in the universe that you can use for your good. And that's what we get a chance to talk about here. That's why the show is called A Spiritual Remedy, because to the malady, to the sickness, to the illness, to the misconception, there is a remedy. And we talk about all the remedies that you can begin to use in order to live your best life. So tell me what questions you have today. Like, what is on your heart? Tell me what's on your mind. Tell me what I could be of service to you for today in our time that we're together, because I definitely want to be able to answer some of your questions. And in the meantime, while you're typing those in, I want to just, take a moment to, hey, Sunny Day. What's up? What's up? Glad you're with us this morning. I wanted to just kind of take a moment to talk about getting unstuck And I talked about this yesterday. I had the great pleasure of speaking at a spiritual community in Encinitas, California, which is in San Diego County. And I was received there with an amazing amount of love. There were definitely people in recovery in the house and people who are on a spiritual path and journey. And one of the things that I talked about is what it means to be on a spiritual journey. So in the meantime, y'all type in any questions that you have. I'll tell you this short story, and then I'll take some questions from you. And one of the things that I discovered about spirituality and being on a spiritual path, which people in recovery are on, right? This self-discovery that it takes finding, or it's a quest to connect with something greater, something greater. And that something greater is usually a higher power, it's usually spirit, it's usually God, whatever it is that you call it, but it is actually making that connection and having that connection to something greater. And as we connect to that something greater, one of the things that I discovered is that it's not okay, it's not enough to say like, oh, I have this relationship with spirit, with higher power, but yet have a jacked up relationship with other people, and to see people as less than or greater than. That because spirit, infinite intelligence, has created everything, and everything has that essence of higher power in it, that you and me, that each of us, it is incumbent upon us in that quest on our spiritual path to have this relationship with spirit, with life, is actually to have it with all of life. My neighbors, my friends, my lovers, whoever it is that you have, your lovers, your friends, your neighbors, people, animals, life, the environment. And so, I'm going to see if I get a chance to pull up the link to that talk, just so that you can check it out and let me know what you think. In the meantime, we have Jan Ford, who has put something down. I want to learn more about detaching current events or thoughts from the past. I want to live in the now. Yeah, Jan, that was one of the things that I talked about yesterday, like some of the spiritual practices that we can have to help us get unstuck. When we're stuck, it's kind of like time to make the donuts. It's that same thing that is happening for us over and over again. And when you talk about detaching current events or thoughts from the past, and getting unstuck there and wanting to live in the now, there are several practices that you can engage in to help you get present. Like, for instance, there's two 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s that I use. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I did it that time like Janet Jackson. That 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, when I find that I'm distracted in thoughts of the past or watching the news that is filled with doom and gloom, what I do is I turn off the television first, number one, right? Or change the channel, or find something inspirational, something that helps me to shift. But when I want to be like right here, right now, like sitting in my chair, looking at the camera and speaking with you, one of the things that I get an opportunity to do is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I get present by saying, what are 5 things that I see? And I use my physical senses, because it is about being in the body. Sometimes we're too spiritual, and it's all about like the ethereal and the beyond the body. But it is definitely the body. It's definitely about getting in the body and being present. So what are 5 things that I see in my immediate surroundings? So I see the camera. I see my microphone. I see my cell phone over here on the mount. I see my ring light. I see my cup of coffee, right? I see my mouse. So those are 5 things that I see, right? Then I go to 4. What are 4 things that I can touch? I feel my skin. I feel the microphone, right? I feel the material of my shirt, and I can feel the texture of my hair, right? Then, what are 3 things that I can hear? Well, I can hear my voice, and if I'm quiet enough, I could almost hear my heartbeat, but I definitely hear traffic and cars on the street. And then 2 things that I can smell. I smell the lotion on my hand, and I smell the candle that's burning right over there. And then one thing I can taste, well, it can be the lingering taste of coffee, or I can have a sip. And as I'm having that sip of coffee, it brings me to the present moment. And in this present moment, that is a practice of being present, because now I'm in my body. I'm not just in my brain, in my quote unquote mind, reviewing things and being in the past, but that I'm right here, like even just doing this, like feeling and rubbing on my hands. I do that often, is to remind me to be back in the body. And when I'm back in the body, instead of lost in my mind or lost in space, I'm here. I'm doing my show. I'm speaking with you. I'm sitting in my chair, in my office space. And that helps me to get super, super present. Another one is this tried and true, actually, for me, is coffee cup therapy. And that is, just like giving yourself as if you're a commentator at a sporting event, but now you're the commentator of your life event. And what you get a chance to do is say, my hand is reaching out. It's reaching out. It is grabbing the cup. And now I'm bringing the cup toward my lips. And now I can and continue to give a blow-by-blow description. Now, I am now switching hands and putting the cup down. And that helps me to become present. The other 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a Mel Robbins deal that I learned a while back ago, where she just does this countdown, and then you get up and you move and you change your atmosphere, so that in that 5, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you get up and you move. And in that getting up and moving and shifting, you now shift your atmosphere, and you tell yourself and you remind yourself to now look at your surroundings and get involved in your surroundings. Let me know if that is helpful for you, Jan. Learning to detach from current events or thoughts from the past. I want to live in the now. I think the other thing that I like to say about that is this. I'm glad you love it. Is the past, and I learned this in Landmark Forum, and I tend to believe this unless we start talking about multiverses and all kinds of quantum physics. But this helps me in the temporary as I was beginning to expand my consciousness, and that is this. That the past does not exist. Like, for a moment, where is the past? Like, point to it. And most people will go like this, and then I look, and it's just like, it ain't back there. The past is not back there. And because the past is not back there, then people, I ask again, so where's the past? And they go up here, and they go, it's a memory, it's in my brain. I go, oh, so if we do surgery and we open it, will we find the past there? Well, no, not technically. Well, the past doesn't really exist. It does not exist. And so sometimes when I think about it that way, in that terms of like letting go of the past, getting over my anger, getting over my anger, getting over my sadness, getting over it and being happy, right? Like, oh, okay, it doesn't exist anymore. What exists is my feelings about it, my thoughts about it. And so I get to deal with that. There is no past. It's just my thoughts or my feelings or what I tell myself or the stories that I make up about the past. And if I'm going to be really honest with you, sometimes my stories about the past, they get bigger and brighter and more, I expand upon those a lot. Thank you, Chinsia. Chinsia says, wow, that's so true. It is. And Jan, I'm so glad that you appreciate that using the five senses to stay present is pretty present. I want to just say thank you to Vida Spiritual Learning Center and Reverend Kevin. He's been posting where you can find that I do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 meditation. It's on YouTube, and it is shared right there in the link for you. Thank you, Kevin, for doing that for us. He also posted my talk from yesterday at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, Getting Unstuck, and he makes note that the talk starts at about 36 minutes in, so you can fast forward to that. In the meantime, let's see. Our time's almost up, but let's just kind of recap what we covered today, right? Being present, getting present, a couple of techniques on being present, and why that's so important for people in recovery or people who are laying down their weapons of mass distraction is because when we are distracted from living our best life, when we're distracted from our recovery, when we're distracted by look at the squirrel, we're no longer moving forward. We're at a standstill. And even though standing still is definitely better than moving in the wrong directions, thank you, Donna T., it's important for us to really be facing the direction in which we want to go. And when we're distracted by other things, we're no longer facing the direction in which we want to go. And so laying down these weapons of mass distraction, being fully present is going to be super, super important as we move forward in our recovery, in our lives, in our joyful living. And also getting unstuck from those patterns, beliefs, and behaviors that no longer serve us. And it's not always easy. I'll say this, it is not always easy. I mean, let's face it, sometimes, a lot of times things change, people change, feelings change, and it's not easy making decisions. However, by having the spiritual practice of meditation and taking some time out to just simply be and have that connection with the great I am within you and asking that great I am within you, that is all around you. We live and have our being in spirit, in life. Life is in us, life is all around us. We live and have our being in life, in spirit, in God, in higher power, in this infinite intelligence. And it is not separate from us. So when we take the time to be quiet, to be still, even if it's just for a few moments or a few minutes or several minutes or even hours at a time when you get really, really advanced and it's also not necessary, it's important to just be able to have that connection and to feel life, to feel you're alive today, and to make the best of what we have from this human experience today. I totally believe our life is eternal. It's just not eternal in the human form, in this human form. And so for me, I want to be able to make the best of what I have. So today, make the best of what you have. Engage in those practices that are going to move you forward. One of those practices as well is a gratitude, or as I like to call it, an appreciation. And what I want to remind you is that what you appreciate appreciates. So send me a text message. It's one-on-one. You send me a text message of what you appreciate, and I will send you a text message of the things that I appreciate as well. In the meantime, know that I love and appreciate you, and if we can be of service to you and support you at Vida Spiritual Learning Center, please reach out to us and let us know. Until next week, know that you are loved. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to A Spiritual Remedy. Use the links in the description for prayer requests, to donate to Be That Spiritual Learning Center, and to join our mailing list. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you can visit us at vidaslc.org for more information.